Yo! Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. With just 1 week until the highly anticipated arrival of Camellya, the newest and most mysterious 5-star Havoc Resonator coming to the game, Kuro Games finally dropped her official character profile. And let me tell ya, it's packed with enough backstory and cryptic details to keep fans guessing. So who is Camellya really? Is she an ally to the Rover or maybe an enemy? And why does she keep hinting that she needs his seed to become his bloom bearer? Today, I'm gonna look into her twisted backstory, share my theories, and explain why her arrival could change everything in Wuthering Waves. So, come join me, buckle up, let's go for a ride. So, let's start things off with the basics of what we know. According to Kuro Games' latest release, Camellya is described as both absent-minded and tough-hearted. She's the top recruiter in the Blackshores, known to bring in the best candidates even if she's the most hated recruiter around. She's tough, she's skilled, and yet she's often lost in her own world. Right away, we're hit with the duality, someone who's capable and resilient yet oddly disconnected, as if her mind is always wandering. And maybe that's because it is. Camellia's mind is described as erratic, prone to overclocking, which is no small thing in the world of Wuthering Waves. Overclocking is dangerous, putting a resonator's mind and body through immense strain. So why does Camellya seem to experience this so frequently? Why is she prone to overclocking? Could it be due to some trauma or past experience? Or maybe she wasn't always a resonator at all. Now here's where things get really intriguing for me. According to the profile, Camellya might be an artificial resonator. Is it possible that she is an AI entity created in the Blackshores, and not just by anyone but potentially by the Rover himself? So let's think about this. Her mind is always unstable, she's prone to overclocking, and she's been described as almost inhuman in her recruitment style. What if Camellya isn't your typical resonator, but rather an experiment in pushing the limits of something created by the Rover himself in the Blackshores? Imagine the Rover desperate to understand or even manipulate resonator powers, creating Camellya as a test subject. It's a dark concept, but it would explain why she's so unhinged. Her mind could be breaking under the weight of forced overclocking and artificial enhancements. She could have been crafted to test these limits, to see just how much power a resonator could handle before they crack. And maybe she's already started to crack herself. And then we have Camellya's bizarre connection to the Rover. Her profile hints that she seems to recognize him or at least feel an undeniable draw to him. She even refers to him as if he's someone she's known in past lives or alternate timelines, a sentiment that's both eerie and mysterious. There's also this strange language she uses. She implies she needs his seed. He is the seed of fate, and she could be his bloom bearer. Okay, let's unpack that for a second. First, the idea of the bloom bearer could mean a lot of things. It might signify a resonator who achieves peak power, perhaps someone who attains enlightenment or completion through the Rover. I know that sounds kinda sexual, but I digress. However, the way Camellya talks about it gives off a vibe that's almost possessive. She seems to view the Rover as a means to her own ends, almost like he holds a part of her destiny. It's kinda unsettling, as if her fixation isn't rooted in loyalty or friendship but something much darker and maybe more personal. I have another fascinating theory. The idea is Camellya's erratic mind and absent-mindedness might be due to memories from multiple timelines, not just one. So let's think about this. In Wuthering Waves, the concept of fractured realities and parallel worlds isn't unheard of. So what if Camellya's instability isn't just due to overclocking or experimentations? What if she's remembering things from timelines that the rover and she have visited before? This could explain her odd behaviors and why she seems detached or unfocused. Imagine carrying the weight of multiple lives or experiences and maybe even tragedies all locked within your mind, overlapping and fighting for dominance. It would be enough to drive anyone to the edge, even insanity. Camelia's cryptic behavior might be her way of coping with this chaos, struggling to piece together the fragments of her own reality from a tangle of alternate histories. So this brings us to the $1 million question. Is Camellya truly an ally or is she hiding an agenda of her own? The truth is, she's hard to pin down. On one hand, she's clearly connected to the rover and seems to have a vested interest in his journey. But on the other hand, her erratic behavior and obsession with becoming his so-called bloom bearer hint at a motive that's deeply personal and potentially self-serving. It's entirely possible that Camelia's ultimate goal isn't to help the rover but to fulfill her own needs. Maybe she believes that becoming his bloom bearer will grant her stability, power, or even a release from the fractured timelines that plague her. This internal conflict makes her one of the most complicated characters in the game and leaves us guessing about her true intentions. Of course, we could be totally wrong about Camellyas Motives. It's possible she's not a self-serving erratic figure, but rather someone who's genuinely trying to protect the rover, even if her methods are unconventional. She did mention in her teaser that she really wants to become, or she really wants to help the rover and become his bloom bearer. Maybe she's seen dangers across those alternate timelines that the rover isn't aware of, and her insistence on becoming his bloom bearer is a desperate attempt to prepare for a looming threat. After all, in the world of Wuthering Waves, characters are rarely black and white. Camellya could be trying to protect him in the only way she knows how, haunted by the memories of what's already happened in alternate realities. But because she's not mentally stable, her protective instinct comes across as controlling, even obsessive. With Camellya joining the Wuthering Waves roster, the game is on the brink of a new era. Her introduction brings questions not only about her character but about the whole structure of the game's reality. What are the limits of resonator power? Is overclocking something the player should fear? And most importantly, is the world of Wuthering Waves a single reality or a network of fractured timelines? Camellya represents a shift towards darker, more complex storytelling. Her presence may even open up a new storyline about the ethical implications of resonator power, experimentation, and the danger of overclocking. Players could be looking at a game where characters aren't just allies or enemies but morally complex individuals with tangled motivations. And so, with only a week left until Camellia's release, we're left with a tantalizing mystery. Who is she? Is she a tortured soul shaped by experiments and fractured timelines? Is she a creation, a pawn, or a mastermind, a puppet master with a hidden agenda? Her fixation on the rover, her need to become his bloom bearer, and her erratic nature all point to a character far more dangerous, far more complex, and perhaps far more powerful than we're prepared for. In the end, whether she's an ally or a threat, one thing is clear. Camellya's arrival is about to send ripples through the game that will leave players questioning everything they thought they knew. So, buckle up because this journey is about to get a whole lot darker. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and if you're as excited as I am to see what Camellya brings, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss future content. Until next time, thank you so much. Maraming salamat po. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!